Hey, I'm Roberto, uncle, dreamer, and Disney kid at heart. As a business profit strategist and community leader, I've had the chance to work with multiple business owners and community leaders ranging from napkin ideas to 8-figure brands. And along the way, there's been some failures, amazing successes, and lots of friendships have been born. Now, community leaders come from all walks of life and business. They might identify as a coach, consultant, speaker, a nonprofit leader, or a maker, but here's the thing. They all have one thing in common. They are purpose-driven brands and leaders seeking to create an even bigger impact in the world with and for their communities. This is the show that brings together community leaders and business leaders with communities to reveal their mistakes and successes to building and creating a highly impactful and profitable community. This is the Connected Community Leader Podcast. Well, hey, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Connected Community Leader Podcast. And I'm here today with somebody some of y'all might know. So Rachel Miller is the creator of Moolah, and it's a system helping thousands of small business owners grow on Facebook. And she's personally grown engaged fan pages, some to over 500,000 and over 2.2 million, fueling massive businesses. Now, Digital Marketer has called her a Facebook guru after she helped them grow one of their pages to over 1 million fans. And Rachel has helped 34 of her students grow engagement and reach over, y'all get this, 10 million people with single post on Facebook. She's also the author of multiple books, one of them being a bestseller with over 100,000 copies sold, and her content has been featured on Good Morning America, in addition to other national publications and syndicated shows. Now, here's the cool part, y'all. Rachel is a mom of 6 kids, and Rachel lives in Fort Worth, Texas. And if y'all know anything about going on in the world right now, oh my gosh, 6 kids. Rachel, how do you do it? And welcome to the show.
Well, when you say all that, I kind of wonder who is this person and how does she do it? Hey, thank you for having me, Roberto.
She does it with an amazing team behind her, and with
I have
her
an amazing team. They're the best. We were actually just talking about the gift that you can have in your business of surrounding yourself with people who are running as fast as you are in your business and supporting you. And I'm beyond grateful for the team that I have. They are the best.
They are. And Jaika, if you ever listen to this, we all love you because, listen, girl, I don't know how you do it all. And for those of y'all that don't know Jaika, maybe one day you too will be lucky enough to get to meet her. So, today's conversation, we're going to talk about Facebook, talk about audiences, the importance of having an audience, and also how sometimes when you have an audience, it can kind of help you when you least expect it, I guess would be one of the ways to say that. So I guess tell everybody, what Moolah is, who Rachel is, and how you love to connect with small business owners.
Oh, it's funny. I think you were laughing at me a little while ago when I called myself a people collector. So I think of Moolah as the chance for me to teach other people how to be people collectors. So I look back at my life, like my professional life, since I've been working with my businesses, and I've collected preschool audiences when I was a preschool parent. I DIY bread, baking your own bread audience. I collected a makeup audience, an audience of people who love cats, an audience of people who cook with crock pots, an audience of people who, fix their own garbage disposal instead of going to buy a new one. I collect all of these different audiences of people, and I would love and serve them. And part of loving and serving them is asking them, what do you want? And then selling it to them. And in the process of this, I'm doing things that don't really float my boat. They're not exciting. Okay. Like I don't really care about cats. I started it as a joke. And then next thing you know, it's a viral audience. And I'm like, but you know what? I love cat people. So I'll sell them cat t-shirts or magnets or whatever those things are that helps them feel loved. And I want to help people find each other and feel loved and connected in the world. And so that is more necessary now than like ever before. But once I realized that my real gift is not selling cat magnets to cat people or a tutorial kit on how to fix your own garbage disposal, once I realized that wasn't my calling in life, I was not meant to fix people's garbage disposals. My real calling is to help other people make an impact on others. And that might be that somebody else's calling is actually fixing their garbage disposals and it's not mine, but I will help them find those people. And once I realized that that's actually what I love to do, it was like a light bulb came on. And I bet your audience that's listening right now, they all have something that's inside of them as a gift that they have, and they may not even realize that they're really good at this tactic. Like, I didn't know I was good at collecting people. I just naturally collected people. Like, I just naturally kept building audiences. It was like a compulsive need I had, and I just kept building them. And I didn't realize that was even special. That was something a lot of people can't just drive traffic. I'm like, of course you can drive traffic. You just do this. You don't need to pay for traffic. Whoever pays for traffic. I didn't realize that was special, but somebody else does. So people came to me and like, how are you driving this traffic? And and that's how my business Moolah started. And now I teach other people how to collect people. So it's almost like I've got grandbabies. That's maybe creepy sounding, but I've taught other people how to collect people. So it's like, I get to be like part of their audiences. And it's so fun to see like it's exponential growth instead of just what I'm able to pull off on my own.
Yeah. Well, I love that you said, I guess I'll share the example that you used about connecting and realizing your gift, and even using something like the garbage disposal. We are in, I don't know what we want to call it. We'll just say the world's in an interesting place right now. And I remember like even just, April and May of this year, Warren and I were trying to get a dishwasher fixed. And it was just like 6 weeks to get a dishwasher fixed. And it was just like, you know what? I wish we could have just like simply found that person who could have fixed that dishwasher instead of waiting 6 weeks to have something done. And so I think like you hit it on the head, and it's just like, hey, if your gift's fixing garbage disposals, there's somebody out there looking for you. How can they find you? And that your strategies work, whether it's fixing a garbage disposal or a brick and mortar store or selling online courses, that building an audience is building an audience as long as they can, when they get to you, say, oh, hey, she's for me. And so this phrase that you've really coined is a bumper sticker.
Yeah. And I love what you said, as long as they can say, this is for me. The thing is, every single one of your readers, they're called, like they've got a duty to be there for someone. They're meant
to make a difference in other people's lives. Like I really believe, I believe that God literally created us to make a difference in someone else's life. And so it's almost like a duty that we have to make an impact. And I love using what I call the bumper sticker system to make that happen. But really it's just, every single one of us has that thing inside of us that we know we're meant to make a difference in, that we have a gift that somebody else isn't very good at. Somebody else isn't good at fixing their garbage. I don't know why we got stuck on that analogy, but it's such a good one. Somebody else isn't good at that. And so we get to love and serve them. And bumper sticker is how I help people connect to us faster. So if you're thinking like Rachel, how does Rachel get people to connect to her and to join her she has this audience of 2 million and that audience of this many and that audience here. How do I make those audiences really fast? I do it because of what I call wearing a bumper sticker, where your content is not about you, not about the services you provide, not about the benefits of who you are or your product or whatever that thing is. It's more about who is your audience and what do they call themselves. So if you could say who your audience is and say, this is where these people hang out, they're going to come hang out because they all want to belong. Every single person. I think so. One person actually had a videographer tell me, Rachel, you're boiling everything down to like a popularity contest in high school. I think you think that everyone, he's not a marketer, guys, but he's like, I think you're acting like everyone is back in high school and trying to fit in with the cool kids crowd. And I'm like, well, yeah, like that never goes away. We all want to belong somewhere. That desire, that need for belonging, it never goes away. We always want to be with other people who can relate to us, can understand us, can say, oh my word, I get you. I know where you're coming from, that can validate us. If you can create that community, even if it's about pool parts, even if it's you're a governor in your state and you're trying to get everyone in your state, you can do this same strategy no matter who you are when you reflect back to your audience who they say they are. So it's not about you, it's about who they are.
Love it. Yeah, and I can tell y'all, the bumper sticker is the thing that will change your page. It will change your business. I had the opportunity earlier this year to really see Rachel in action in the middle of a launch with like, I don't know, what was it, like 800, 900 new students? It was something crazy all
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah.
And just the immense amount of wins that people were having once they could actually make that Facebook cover image, or as Rachel likes to say, the bumper sticker, make it where they're just like, their people just got it. And like we said, they're just like, oh, that's for me. Like, you do this. Like, I want to do that, or that's my place to be. And so it's just been amazing to see your students get these types of results. And
they
another
get
thing
it because they wear that bumper sticker, which is saying what
your audience says. So think not of yourself, but I am a what? And think, if I was my reader, how would they answer that phrase? I am one of my pages I called a quirky mama, because I'm a quirky mama and they're a quirky mama. And if they want to follow me in this page, well, they're going to be a quirky mom too. And that was the preschool page that I had created. I am a what? What is that thing that you're going to call yourself? And then I love what? From this perspective, not of you, not of your product, but of your audience. I love, if they were going to say that, what would they say? That they love blank. I love blank. And then I hate, because you're not going to be for everyone. You want to attract the people that are meant for you and repel the people who are not meant to follow you. And I hate, there's things you hate and that your readers hate, that they're like, prove that they're in the right spot, like, and, suddenly I started thinking of my husband. My husband's IT. He's a project manager for IT. He hates when Dell prepackages all these programs onto the computers. So he hates it. Like he went on a rant last night about how and they prepackaged and he had the hardest time. Anyways, whatever that is, he hates that thing. Only people who are IT project managers really care about that. I really don't know and care that Dell put whatever on a computer. It really means nothing to me. He's so passionate about it because he is that person. So he knows other people who are passionate about that too. Sorry, Dell, if you're listening, I have no qualms. But hopefully that you attract the people who love the things you do and repel the people that don't love the things you do by those I am, I hate, I love statements.
Awesome. And so I hope y'all took notes on that, y'all. Rachel's got a couple more things we're going to chat about here before talking more about the personal side, because y'all probably getting to learn that we talk business, but we also talk about just the realness of life and business. And so be sure to have your pen papers ready, because these next two, I have also seen people get crazy results. And so let's talk about this phrase called engagement stacking. So what's engagement stacking?
Well, we actually had a girl, I love
talking about stories and results. Last week, no, it wasn't last week. It was 10 days ago. So it was a week and a half ago. It was 2 weeks ago. She was able to get single piece of content to over 1 million people without a single penny in ads, because she combined bumper sticker with content stacking. When you have the right message, the right people, and then you put the right content in front of those people, it can go bonkers. And so what she did is she wore the bumper sticker, and then she post a photo, a video, a conversation starter. Now, you're not going to get all of those to go viral, but what you're going to do is you're going to train your audience how to engage with you. When you train your audience how to engage with you, they know what to do when they come to your page. So the next time you post, they automatically step up and do what they're supposed to, which is comment, engage, like, share, etc. And Facebook then looks at who's engaging on your page and says, oh my, we can send more people to this person, just like the people on this page. So I love to engagement stack. And we actually even created a tool. If you don't mind if I share it, we created a tool that helps people engagement stack without any work. Basically, I was like, how can I make this where we get more results for people faster with less time and as free as we could make it. So it's the price of a cup of coffee. So it's as free as we could make it. We boiled it down as cheap as we could go, because we want it to be no barrier to entry. So anyone can begin growing an audience, and we give you hundreds of posts. So if you're like, what photo should I put? We give you that. What video should I put? We give it to you. What conversation should we do? We give it to you. And each of them have a fill in the blank, so they can work for any niche, any person, any type of scenario.
Yeah, and y'all, the app's actually called Post Deck, and Post Deck is amazing, y'all. Y'all just have to know, because when you join Rachel's program, she's got a program called Grow Your Audience. We'll talk more about that and later, and then of course another day as well. She like has these, I like call them playing cards or flashcards that are awesome, because if you're anything like me, sometimes you're just like, what the hell do I post? And you just like completely try to overthink it. And so one day I actually just took Rachel's cards and I threw them like in a Ziploc bag. And it's just like, you just draw one out and see one. But that was only like 90 something. And now you've got hundreds at your fingertips.
And the
So
problem
you
with that
literally
one-
don't have to think about it.
Yeah, it was like 90 posts, or it was actually 100 posts, I think. But here's the thing with that one is I had to mail them to you. And what, like, yes, I could have a fulfillment center, but actually I have my kids doing my mailing, which we'll talk about, I guess, that a little bit. But I have 6 kids and they're the mailing. They can't mail something consistently lots. So that for me wasn't a scalable business model if I continued to use my kids as my shipping and fulfillment department, which I really want to, because they need to work. So it's like a chance to teach them, but they have to. So I want them to have like a job, like, but they can't do a job that's like a lot of a job. So we used to have these cards that we would mail out. We still mail them out to our students, but what's an easier way than the cards, more effective than the physical card deck? And that's a virtual card deck. And that's where that's scalable now. So I don't have to have my 8-year-old putting them in an envelope and putting your name on it.
Well, it's scalable. And what I love about it is as times change, as climates change, as you know, one of the things, y'all, that, you know, is if you hear these numbers from Rachel, right? Like 1 million this, 2.2 million that, 500,000 this with one single post, you've probably figured out that not only does she collect people, she loves to collect data. And so one of the great things about the app like Post Deck is that she has the opportunity to take the data of what's working and seeing her community wins, and then being able to update the app, versus it's just like, oh, that one card should change. I mean, she's not going to mail you one card. And so the great thing about the app is like, it gets to be updated.
Yes. Well, we found like we call them banned word phrases that can hurt your reach.
Banned word phrases are things like this. Well, we have replacement phrases. Well, let's say that replacement phrase gets caught by Facebook, and Facebook's like, wait a second, you sneaky girl, you're using a different phrase. We can then switch it again. So we are following the algorithm all the time. But like I said, engagement stacking is not necessarily, you don't need the app to do it. Post a photo, post a video, post a conversation starter, and all of those should be those bumper sticker phrases that your audience would say. So I am make a photo about it, make a video about it, make a conversation starter. I love this. Great. Who else loves this? Show me your last time that you did XYZ. Video. Did you know I love this? And these are the 15 reasons why. Who else loves it too? You create video, photo, conversation starter for each of those bumper sticker types of pieces of content. That's it. I mean, that's as easy as content stacking is. My systems that I teach, they're not like complicated. They're not something like rocket scientists can do and no one else can go viral. Rachel, if I can do this as a mom of 6 with no training, anybody can do this. I was actually doing strength finders the other day, and like my last system, like on the strength finders, my last 2 were consistency and consistency and discipline. Those were like way at the bottom. And if I can create an SOP or a standard operating procedure that can get results for the girl who hates standard operating procedures, you guys can do this. Trust me. It's that simple. We've stripped it down. Bumper sticker,
you see,
content stack.
Bumper sticker, contact stack. So I hope y'all got those down. And then number 3, and it's funny, Rachel actually just said it without even saying it. So here's what I want you to hear is, even like in talking about something like strength finders, she was able to say, oh yeah, you know what? They get me here. This is me. Like if the girl who hates this can do this, then you can too. So let's talk a little bit about actually targeting, because I think, there's, some people, they're just like, oh my gosh, I need to have 100,000 people on my page or 10,000 people. And then they either A, go buy fans, or B, they're just like, I need Aunt Paula and Cousin Susie and Sister Sally, and I need the church pastor and the babysitter and the dog walker to all like my page, because if they all like my page, or I guess here's another good example, y'all, please stop the everybody like my page. Let's all follow each other's pages and like each other's pages. Like, what does that actually do if somebody has a bunch of people that aren't for them?
It can actually hurt you. Having fake fans hurts your page more than it ever helps your page. So you don't want somebody who's completely unrelated following your page. You only want the perfect people. Now, too often we think everyone's our perfect person, or we want to have social proof. So we're going to do like ads to get social proof so we can have our perfect people will know that they're there and this is a place to be. Social proof, if it's not the actual people, can hurt you because Facebook sees this in interaction and says you need more people just like these people, and it actually will hurt your page in the long run.
Yeah. And, that's actually, I think, a lesson that so many people, that we could all learn from, because early on in business, especially as people were building Facebook pages, people were just like, hey, go and get as many people as you can, invite the cousin, invite the sister. And so another way that Rachel says this, y'all, she says, how do you avoid lurkers that aren't buyers and zero in on the people who will fuel your engagement and sales? So that's also something important too. And so y'all,
because bot fans, they don't buy.
No, you pay them, but they don't pay you.
No, and we don't want you to pay Facebook to get fake users. And this is honestly, I think it's one of my tenets, is that I believe in authenticity and honesty. And that means being honest with yourself in that you're only going to bring in real people to your business, and you're not going to try to lie to your audience and lie to yourself that you're bigger than you really are, but also to your audience that you're going to be truthful for them, that you're truly collecting the people that they're going to gel with the best.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of authenticity, speaking of vulnerability, y'all, I hope y'all wrote down those notes. We'll circle back on what those 3 points were, but the question I've been asking people is kind of like, what's been one of your biggest failures and what did you learn from it? But I think today, just given some of our conversations and how open you've been with your community, I'd like to switch that conversation a little bit to a different question, which is, right now the world is in, whether they want to call it COVIDville or pandemic, or the people that just aren't even acknowledging that this is a real thing. There's a lot going on, and it's affecting jobs. It's affecting school teaching. We've got businesses closing, and suddenly we have moms who are CEOs of 7-figure companies now being homeschool teacher to 6 on top of everything else. What have you been learning through this?
And I think it's actually really hard for women. If any of your people are women, just because we tend to take the brunt of the childcare, and we tend to take the brunt of the family, the glue of the family. We're often the glue.
Maybe not always. I don't want to make a generalization. Although as I'm saying that, I'm making a generalization. Okay. Anyways, I feel like in my mind, we tend to take on more of that family responsibility. And so that does mean that we're struggling right now with COVID and all of the stuff that's happening. For me, I know my kids aren't going back to school this fall, at least not for the first whatever number of weeks, which I'm like, you guys are going to so extend that. But they're not going back to school right now, which means I'm having to also wear the hat of business owner and homeschooling parent. And we do make enough so that my husband doesn't have to work. He could come home, but he doesn't want to. And you can't make somebody become at home, working at home. So for me, that has meant wearing multiple hats. And I know I'm not the only one. And I'm super grateful that I'm not a single mom, because I know that moms who are single have even bigger struggles. But it is a lot that we're having to bring on right now. It is, as a society, it's a lot.
So as a mom, and y'all, I know we talked about some business things. I wanted to tie that into kind of what we're going through as people right now. Mm-hmm. You have a bumper sticker, you have a business, you understand engagement system. Like you said, you've created these simple systems for you. What has having an audience meant to you right now, even in the midst of figuring out like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with 6 kids and I haven't had like a day to breathe? What does having an audience mean to you?
The reality, I was actually talking to my spouse about this just a couple days ago. We if Moolah, like I was thinking, well, what if I have to, guys, I'm not going to, but I was like, I went all into the what ifs because I'm like, I'm homeschooling now. What if I have to like put a business on hold? The reality is, guys, even if I put my Moolah business, the one where I teach people how to collect people, if I put it on hold, I have all of our financial needs met for our family. Like my husband can still quit his job from my blogs alone, and they're on autopilot. So what I did is I built the audience 4 years ago. I built the audience. I built the products, and they're one. I make them once, type of products. You make them once, and you sell them again and again. I've got those made, and now the engine just runs. And last month we had 1.2 million people visit my website. And that happens because of the audience. And yes, audiences change, algorithms change. Google could stop sending us traffic. Facebook could stop sending us traffic. Pinterest could. So it's not like it's for forever. You do have to like maintain it a little bit. But the reality is like an audience gives me the like stability in my life that when COVID's crazy, I've got that as a smooth sailing, dependable source. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. And, you said something that I don't know that we touched on earlier that I think is important. You mentioned that you built the audience 4 years ago. And I think it's important for people to know that you can start building an audience and building a community at any point, even in the middle of a pandemic, because I guarantee you there's more people online now than ever.
Oh, yes. We've seen the fastest growth now, and it took me longer to grow my audiences than it's taken most of my students because they get there faster because I made all their mistakes for them ahead of time.
So speaking of learning, and people come to you to learn, what would you say are a couple of the books or courses or podcasts that have had the biggest impact on your business and you as a leader?
For my business, probably the book Contagious is probably the first one. A lot of what I teach with like the bumper sticker, make your people feel loved. What you're creating has to be about them. That was inspired a lot from the book Contagious. So that book very much influenced how I built my businesses and how I attracted my audience. And after that, for life, probably the book Outliers, because I look at my kids and like those parts of your life that you're like, I can't believe this happened. Like, I'm so irritated that this happened to me. Or this kid's going to struggle so much because of this. You don't realize that all of those things that happened are your biggest gifts. They're your biggest blessings. So how can you position them as a win for yourself, not as a negative? When I learned how to do that, I was able to position sales pages because your negatives become your selling points. You're able to speak to people who are in those even ifs, or I can't do that without this, all the can'ts. You're able to go in and speak to them. And I think that book was Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. It's not a sales book, but it shows you how what you think is negative is actually a good thing. And I loved that book. And then for leading a team, I probably would have to go with the 12-week year or maybe Radical Candor, or let's just say I'm always working on that one because it's my biggest struggle point. So I've got lots of books for that one. Scrum, 12-week year, Radical Candor. I love to read. There's several other books. Clockwork. Those are all books that I've used. 80-20 is how to run a team and what should you be doing with your time. Those have helped me.
Awesome.
Those are a lot. That was probably more than you wanted. You're like, just give me one, you crazy woman.
It's great. It's funny. I know, I don't even remember who came up with the phrase, that leaders are readers. And I find it to be consistently true. Every now and then there's that one unicorn that's like, I hate to read. I don't listen to Audible. I don't do anything else, but they can just go somewhere by themselves in their own little corner.
I actually love to turn on Audible at 2x speed and then read at the same time with a pen. And then when I find something interesting, I put like a little note on the side of the book. And then on the front cover, I make a list of all my notes. So that's my system for how I can read a book faster and remember it all at the end.
I love that. Okay, y'all, because y'all know I love Audible and I love paper books or like hardback, whatever. Y'all know what I mean. The book where you actually touch the pages. And I'm not a big Kindle fan. It's a little bit
more expensive because I have to buy both, but like for me, it means that I retain the information more.
I love that. I'm gonna have to try that sometime. Okay, now as we wind up here, I guess two more things. Well, three. Yeah, three, maybe four, who knows, but three. Okay, so number one, where do people find out more about Rachel? Where do they hang out with Rachel online? And I know we're going to be sending y'all to her web class later because it's really awesome and y'all should learn more. But like, where can people hang out with you online and learn more about Moolah and how you help people grow their audience?
I have a Facebook group called Grow Your Audience, so they can come there. But honestly, what's probably the best, because we only spent a few minutes glossing over the bumper sticker and content stacking and glossing over how to target to find the perfect people. Let's say you want to actually see that tool being used, like you want to see
how I target people, just finding where the active people are and not doing fake ads. And I actually show you that in a masterclass, and it's completely free. So that's probably the best way to get more information, is probably just going there. And then of course we have a free Facebook group.
Awesome. Well, y'all should do both. We'll make sure that y'all have all the links for that information. And then what one piece of advice would you give people looking to grow their audience?
That they can do it. Don't think that you have to hire someone, or that you're going to do this, like it takes an expert to be able to grow an audience. You can't do it because you're an introvert. Anyone can grow an audience, and anyone can even grow an audience quickly. In any niche, no matter what the product is, you can do it. And you can do it
when you stop thinking about yourself and making it a transactional relationship. You guys all know that person is like, well, I'll do this for you if you do this for me. And I'm looking for this from you and this from, that kind of feels icky. As soon as you can get yourself out of the transactional relationship of I want people to buy from me to I want to love and serve more people, you'll actually sell more because you're collecting and loving and serving those people. So that would be my biggest tip for you guys. You can do it and love people.
Love people. If you want to sell more, serve more. And if you want to serve more, love more.
Exactly.
I think that like you need a shirt with that. I'm just saying, I think you should make
I love it. We do.
Well, y'all, thanks so much for joining Rachel and me today. Remember, the 3 things that you need to know, doable tactics for you, are to A, wear a bumper sticker, B, engagement stacking, and 3, be sure to target the right people. And yes, y'all, I totally just said the 3 things and then said AB3. And that is just called life and being human. So we hope y'all have a great day. Be sure to join Rachel over in her Facebook group, her community, and join her over at the Grow Your Audience Masterclass. And we will chat with y'all all soon. Bye-bye.